If you opened pretty much any news or social media apps today, you would definitely come across this headline: US invaded Venezuela for its oil. If you ask the US, they should certainly deny it, right? Or maybe not. Oil is just one part of the story. But before we get in, remember to like and subscribe. Okay, so the US has not done this for the first time. A similar story happened back in 2003 and 2009. In 2000s, Saddam Hussein tried to sell the oil reserves in euros instead of the US. The euro appreciated in value, and Iraq made huge profits. What happened next? You guessed it. Iraq was invaded and Saddam Hussein was executed. In 2009, Gaddafi tried to do a similar thing by proposing a new currency, gold dinar. It was backed by its massive gold reserves. He proposed to sell oil in that currency. NATO attacked and Gaddafi was killed in 2011. So what's up with Venezuela? US today has a massive reserve of oil. Why does it need more supply? Well, two reasons. First, the US has soft, sweet crude oil, while Venezuela has hard, sour crude oil. US imports this at an expensive price due to its sanctions on Venezuela. But on the flip side, Venezuela produces about 900,000 barrels a day. This is hardly 1% of the daily production of global energy markets. It would take approximately 5 to 10 years to get the production levels to the previous production levels of 2 to 3 million a day. Also, globally, oil is in an oversupply zone. So if not oil, what is the other reason? Minerals and gold. Everyone looks at the oil fields in the north, but the US military planners were looking south at the Arco Minero del Orinoco. This is one of the most mineral-rich patches of dirt on Earth. It has gold worth billions of dollars of it. But more importantly, it has coltan and rare earth elements. Coltan contains tantalum. You cannot build a modern guidance system, a stealth fighter, or a smartphone without it. For the last 10 years, this region was a free-for-all. It was run by gangs, but the buyers were state actors. China and Russia were effectively strip mining Venezuela's strategic future, bypassing US sanctions and taking the raw materials needed for next-gen tech. The US didn't just lose a trade partner. They were watching their biggest geopolitical rivals loot the store right in their own backyard. Look at the table. Bolivia and Chile have the lithium. Brazil has niobium. Peru has copper. For the last decade, China has been aggressively buying up these resources. They are owning the mines and they are locking up the supply chains for the 21st century. By taking out Maduro, the US is establishing a new, violent precedent. The message is simple. Latin American resources are part of the Western industrial base. You can sell us bananas and coffee however you want. But when it comes to the minerals that build missiles and satellites, you do not sell to Beijing. And if you do, your sovereignty is negotiable. Gold is the only currency you can't sanction. Maduro used the Arco Minero gold as a literal ATM. He was flying plane loads of gold bars to Turkey and the Middle East to get the cash he needed to stay in power. By invading, the US kills two birds with one stone. First, they cut off the funding for any resistance and gain control over gold. Second, they get control of oil reserves and also send a message to the neighboring Latin American countries. This wasn't an oil raid, it was a supply chain intervention, and it sent a terrifying message to every other capital in Latin America. If you try to sell your strategic future minerals and reserve to enemies of the US, they will come for you. So if you stayed until the end, and if you liked the video, remember to like and subscribe.